And listen, I understand that it's early, but we got our first little taste of LeBron and Anthony Davis, and I don't feel like this is an over-exaggeration to say no one's going to stop this team. How do you stop this, Jalen? They're going to win 82 games.
There's some amazing dynamic duels across the league. The Clippers, the Rockets are going to have something to say in the Western Conference. Don't sleep on the Nuggets, the Jazz, and Portland. Don't sleep on who comes out of the East, maybe the Bucks or the Sixers. But if I had to pick a championship favorite, I agree with Swagoo. I agree with UL. The Lakers would be that team. Yes. We know about the greatness of LeBron James, right?
Right.
He hasn't played basketball in months.
He's so high.
He's going to be as fresh as he's ever been. Anthony Davis now gets to go from being one of the top players in the game to now elevating himself into a superstar, because that's what winning does. And this is why, actually, other than those two guys, I'm going to pick them as my favorite. Kyle Kuzma.
Kuz.
People sleep on the fact that Kyle Kuzma has become a prolific scorer. They have so much size up front. Kuzma 6'9", LeBron 6'9", 7-footers like Dwight Howard going to be blocking shots. JaVale McGee going to be playing quality minutes. The Lakers did a terrific job putting this roster together. I think they're going to be truly motivated. The rest of the league is going to keep them on their toes because I mentioned so many great teams. But if I had to pick a favorite, the Los Angeles Lakers would be that team. And it's not just because they have a dynamic duo. They have a big three. Yeah. Along with Kyle Kuzma.
You're right. And like you said, I'm always big on like X factors. And when I saw Dwight Howard trot out that blonde hair, I was like, oh, it's over. The Lakers are going to win it all. We got a little eye candy for you too. Listen, the Hawks aren't going to get a lot of love this season, so allow me to show them some love.
We are, though.
Trae Young, right, with the nasty nutmeg here on JJ Redick.
That was filthy, and that's what happens when you get a little bit older. That's exactly what happened. Look like a turnstile. I've been in that situation. You know what I'm saying? I've been there. Look at him. And by the way, you ready for this? Don't sleep on your Hawks getting close to a playoff this year.
You could say for the Knicks yesterday, he was ejected because, well, he threw some elbows at Justin Anderson, and then he just decides to take a ball and just hit him in the face with it.
Well,
I mean, what?
Well, some people are in the league because of their skill, others in their will, and some because of their toughness. That's who Marcus Morris is. You stick your face in there, I'm going to hit you with the basketball.
Yeah, because my team needs me. I got somebody that set a better example. But like I said in the beginning, we're not taking no shit.
It's a preseason game, Jalen.
You heard the apology without the apology? It's like, my team really needs me, L, but by the way, we not having it.
Okay.
He said that at the end as well. This is the toughness that he brings to your basketball team. That's why people pay him millions of dollars to play the sport.
It's very Charles Oakley-ish, if
yes,
you will,
absolutely.
Right? In terms of being that enforcer.
I bet he won't stick his face in there again.
Well, probably not. It's a little bush, a little bush league, but that's all right. Listen, we also saw, because a lot's being made of what we saw from Zion, and he was fantastic, but how about Lonzo? He made his Pelicans debut, and he wasn't dropping dimes. He was showing off his new form on his three-point shot. What'd you think?
I like the fact that Lonzo's now in a situation without the noise. We're not going to be interviewing necessarily family members often.
I was going to say, without the noise, what, his dad's going to be quiet?
He's not on the big stage of Los Angeles.
Fair.
His jump shot has improved. I think he's going to have a terrific season, especially if he can stay healthy.
We are running the floor on all kinds of debuts, like Russell Westbrook making his Rockets debut in Japan this morning. His new teammate, James Harden, finished with 21 points in the first quarter, and he had 34 total. So early on, right? I know it's a small sample size, but what are you expecting between these two?
What I'm expecting is I'm going to pick up box scores and watch League Pass at least 10 times this year, and both of those guys are going to have triple-doubles in the same game.
Wow. And that's going to be possible?
That's going to be going down this year.
Okay.
Hey, Coach, your immediate takeaways.
I'm excited about what we can be. We got a little bit of a taste of it tonight, just seeing what our length looks like on the defensive end and on the glass. What two elite quarterbacks in Rajon Rondo and LeBron James look like with shooters around them, okay, and then just a beast of a scorer in AD, with those guys setting him up and him just being able to deliver and also impact the game on the other end. And I was proud of our young guys, played really well in the second half too.
That starting lineup specifically, you just got into it a bit, but what were you looking for from them, and what are the things that you still think need to come along?
we fouled too much, turned the ball over a little too much, missed free throws, but for our first preseason game together with a bunch of new faces, I'm very pleased with how we looked. I liked the defensive presence that JaVale and Avery gave us, around those two guys, and we played for each other, which is what we have to become. Like, we can have all the talent in the world, if we don't become a team-first team, all right, we're not going to go anywhere. So I was pleased with 33 assists.
You know Anthony Davis pretty well. Everybody's seen what he's done over the years, but just specifically him in that first half, what did you make of how he played, especially on offense?
He's a monster. It's going to be very difficult to slow him down with what we have around him, and I'm excited about what he's going to do, and Lakers fans should be too.
Following up on Anthony, there was a 43-second span in the first quarter where he had 3 dunks. What did you see that unlocked his game early on, I guess?
Well, he's such a versatile threat offensively, right? He can beat you with step-back jumpers, 3-point shots, drives from the perimeter. Okay, but he's also one of the best rim finishers in the game. So I'm not exactly sure about that sequence, but he can get to the rim himself. Okay, and he's also a terrific lob threat and finisher inside.
Frank, a lot of times in a preseason game, especially the first preseason game, you don't really know what you're going to get, just in terms of like sloppiness or whatever. What do you think of your team's focus and intensity coming out of the gates, and what do you think kind of was the inspiration behind that?
We've been locked in. We try to set a tone at the beginning of training camp. That there's going to be a seriousness to our business, and we're going to get after it each day and lock into what has to happen. And our leaders have led the charge, with regard to our mentality and our mindset with that, and it showed up tonight.
What do you think will be LeBron's workload, Anthony's workload in China?
We'll see. Probably similar to tonight. Maybe a little bit more. I'll meet with those guys and with the medical team, and we'll make smart decisions on that.
There are so many new pieces on this team, but they fit so seamlessly in the first half. Does that come from them kind of training together prior to camp, or talk about how that all came together?
It's not always going to look smooth. It did tonight. Like I said, it's their first time. Everybody's together, so I think they're probably a little extra focused. But we have tried to set that mindset, from the beginning of camp, that every day we're going to try to get better and work on coming together, and becoming a team-first team. So, that showed up on the floor for us tonight.
You've been a coach long enough to know during the practices when things are working, when things are not, to see the hopefulness of a team. Do you sense that the players are buying into what you're trying to do? Are they working together? Because again, I'm sure you've been in situations where it's not working that way even early on.
Well, every coach has buy-in at this point in the year. You know what I mean? Before you lose games, before minutes are divvied out and roles and all that stuff. But I do feel more in particular like this group is locked into what we're, the framework of what we're trying to do on both ends of the floor, what our identity is supposed to look like, and what the blueprint for our plan looks like. I think they're locked into that and believe in it, and hopefully we'll grow with executing it.
You said before the game that you want to give Avery a shot at starting because of his defensive edge that he's brought in training camp. Obviously, he had a hard time finding his shot tonight, but did he kind of do what you thought he might in that defensive role?
No doubt about it. He definitely did. I think he fouled Steph, on that 1 3-point shot. But he creates a presence. He picks him up as soon as the jump ball happens. Steph gets his first touch on the ball, and that guy's right under his chin. It sets a tone for our defense, right? So a few possessions later, Steph goes to bring it up, and he's advancing it with the pass. So he's immediately changed, what their look is like. So he definitely set a tone for our guys tonight, and look forward to seeing that night in and night out.
I know you're the visiting coach, but what are your first impressions of this new building?
Oh, it's great. It's the best atmosphere I've ever felt for a preseason game, I can tell you that much. The fans of San Francisco should be excited about it. It's a beautiful building, and they should come out and see the Warriors play.
Coach, it's been about a week now with this group. Is there anything either from personnel or with the group as a whole that you've learned about this group in the first week or so that you didn't maybe before that?
There's always little things to learn about every player, but this group, you don't know how they're gonna fit together, and we're gonna have peaks and valleys, of course, but their willingness to understand the value in really coming together and trying to be a team-first team has been just done at a really high level, and our guys are locked in to this point. We've got a long way to go, obviously, but so far so good.
You have a lot of young guys run in that second half. Who do you think stood out after some of the starters rested?
I liked all of our young guys played terrific. I went back and told Kobe Carl that the expectation now is going to be for them to go undefeated. With those guys, the way they performed in the second half, those guys were really good. Zach shot the ball well. They all competed. Demetrius got to the basket. Alex had a strong second half. K-Cock, he's a beast, and we had to manage his fouls because I didn't want to put my veteran centers back in late in the game, so I had to make sure he wasn't fouling, but he played well as well.
How angry were you to lose the coach's challenge?
Not angry at all. I almost did it on the first foul just to kind of get out of the way and see what it feels like. I thought there was a chance of some verticality there, but I think he bent awkwardly, and usually the call is going to go against the defense when that happens. So, just